Welcome back to Upside Down Movie Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing the movie Crawl, directed by Alexander Aja, who is probably most known for directing Piranha 3D and starring Kaya Scodelario and Barry Pepper. I wanted to have a review for this movie out maybe a day or two sooner, but I had a back injury spring up that's kept me in bed, and then Thursday I went to see a secret screening for a movie that doesn't come out until November, but since I signed an NDA for that, I can't give you much more information. When that movie does come out in theaters, I'll definitely make sure to let you know which one it was. Anyway, Crawl's about a girl named Haley who, after her father hasn't been responding to any phone calls, has to go check and make sure he got out of town because of a Category 5 hurricane that is hitting Florida. After she finds her dad in her childhood home attacked and unconscious, they must find a way to safety by surviving the flooding of the house and lots of hungry alligators. I heard someone say this movie had no reason being as good as it was, and I honestly completely agree with that. The trailers to me were funny because of how bad it looked, and it made it seem like it was going to be a terrible horror film that was just a big joke. But in reality, I had a good time watching this movie. It really grabbed the audience, it is extremely suspenseful, and has you on the edge of your seat for pretty much the entirety of the movie. Crawl does not try to be anything it isn't. The movie has a simple concept and stays in those boundaries the whole time. Even the alligators are realistic. They just do what alligators normally would do, try to hunt people and find some dinner. They don't make it any of the alligators superhuman or invincible like a lot of monster movies try to do to their creatures. The two lead actors in the movie did a great job portraying their characters. They had some backstory outside of the main disaster going on and had a good father daughter chemistry. Although the movie didn't really make me feel anything for these characters, it's still nice to have backstories for this movie when you usually don't see it in movies like these. Part of Haley's backstory, the main character, is that she's a professional swimmer for the University of Florida, and it plays a huge factor in this movie. There's a hurricane with lots of flooding and water, so you can see how being a professional swimmer would be very beneficial in a situation like this. Without really spoiling anything, there was a lot of blood and gore in this movie. One of the bloodiest and glorious, actually, I think it is the goriest movie I've seen in theaters this entire year. There was a lot of people getting torn to pieces by these alligators, and it showed most of it, all the way down to the bone. So if this is something you're interested in, this is the movie for you. This movie also, to me, had jump scares that were nearly perfectly placed. Most horror movies today is just jump scare after jump scare and nothing more to them. They don't really let the images shown on screen horrify us as the viewers, but instead just try to make us jump with something popping out or a loud noise, which gets old after every single movie that comes out does it. And the few jump scares this movie did have felt more natural and not forced as a lot of movies today do. I never expect movies to be realistic. Like when I see Star Wars or superhero movies, I don't knock them for being unrealistic because obviously there's no Star Wars or superheroes in real life. I mean, there could be, but that we don't know of. But this movie had a couple of things that were just stretching it a little bit. For the most part, this movie was actually extremely realistic. Like it is something you could actually see happening in real life. It wouldn't be surprised to read or see on the news. But the injuries that the leads suffered at times were really bad, but the next scene they would be walking on the leg or using their arm just fine. For example, at one point, Haley got one of her legs latched onto by a gator, and the alligator just threw her around like she was a rag doll while keeping a firm grip on her leg. And we see her patch up the leg, and it seems like a pretty serious injury, but throughout the rest of the movie, she's walking on the leg pretty much no problem or no limp. There's a few moments like this, and I just find myself thinking, like, come on, that's just unrealistic, even with adrenaline pumping. But overall, I could say I'd enjoyed this movie. It was a pleasant surprise for a small budget horror film. And if you guys are looking for a summer horror film, this is definitely the one to check out. I'm going to give Crawl a B minus. If you have seen the movie or are looking forward to seeing it, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. My next movie to see is Stuber, which I would have already if I didn't have this back injury come up. So hopefully look for a review for that in the next day or two. Thanks again for watching. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.